This presentation is over gamification, and we'll be using Classcraft to demonstrate gamification and thinking globally. And we're using Skype from the classroom to demonstrate thinking globally. So to start with, my name is Thaddeus Ryan Komorowski. These are some of my professional qualifications. I am a graphic design teacher at Garland High School. I am Adobe Certified Associate and an I3 instructional coach. My co-presenter is Joanna Funkhauser. She is a physics teacher also here at Garland High School and is an I3 instructional coach. So the first thing I actually want to bring up is all the things I'm going to talk about and all the videos I'm showing are going to be in the description as links underneath this video. So any one of these things that I'm talking about, then you can actually go, it'll say show more right here, and you can see all these different things. So this is kind of a screenshot of what the description will look like. So gamification of learning is an educational approach to motivating students by using game elements in education. The goal is to maximize engagement through capturing the interest of learners and inspiring them to take ownership of their own learning. So an example of this would be like, in professional development, to try to get teachers to actually do certain Apple teacher certifications and do different trainings and stuff, they offer badges and different kind of like certain achievements. And you can actually put out on your door and to show that you've actually completed that. That would be an example of the gamification. So it's not necessarily actually just giving out candy to your classes for doing something good or something like that. So it's actually more of creating kind of like this environment for the kids to actually to manage their learning and can really create achievements or accomplishments for getting certain things achieved. I think it's a really great educational tool. And so in using this, I use Classcraft is what I'm actually going to demonstrate today. So Classcraft is a new game-based approach to teaching. It's designed to encourage participation, good behavior, and 21st century skills like collaboration. Increasing your child's engagement with their lessons, everything they learn in class stays the same, but they get to have a little fun each day. So let's go over that. This is actually what the home screen will look like when you first go to Classcraft. So I'll go here, and you'll see that. Okay. So Classcraft is really great because all the student information from Skyward gets put into Google Classroom, of course, and that's why I definitely use Google Classroom, and because it actually streamlines everything. And then I also use Classcraft because all the information, the student information, and the students in your classrooms can be imported straight into Classcraft. And I'll show you that now. Let's go back to this. Yes. So this, for your classroom, you'll click sign in right here. It will take you to a screen that looks very much like exactly like this. You are going to log in with Google. This is great because the less username and passwords that the student has to remember, I think is better. So they don't have to, like teacher, I forgot my password. You don't have any more of that stuff. So you just tell them to log in with Google, and I think that's great. So you just click on their account. It remembers all the information. So you can see here, these are the classes. You'll have to do some work on the front end to kind of set up your classes, but they use, like I said, use of the information from Skyward into the classroom and then therefore into Classcraft makes the setup time a lot quicker. Okay, so you actually will create your classes. Click it on here, so go to new class. You're going to name your class there. Okay, so I'll name this as I can make test again. And if you're actually creating a class that's pretty much exactly like additional classes you've created, you can choose that import settings. So all the things you've actually set up in one class, you don't have to redo, okay? So then you will choose the time period. Like for instance, some schools go year-round, some schools are only semester, or some classes are only semester. And this is just an average of how many hours a week you tend to use Classcraft. Then this is the part where you actually insert your students. And this is, like I talked about, this great button here to import your information from Classroom. So this has exact classes, and I tended to put -A4 so I know what class period they're from, and that helps me. So I can click on that, and I've already done this, so that's why it says the student is in another class. But when you do this for the first time, it will not say that. And so you can enumerate students. I'm not going to do that because I've already done that. And they'll populate here. And if you need some other resources, you can click here. I'll show you that. I'll show you another place you can actually go to get the same resources page. Okay. This is actually really great to do, because adding teams, I think, is a really great way to help them kind of like keep each other in check. Yes. Like if maybe one student, because you're actually using teams. So they use teams to keep each other accountable, and they say like, oh, some students using foul language. You're like, oh, stop doing that. You know, it's going to help keep the students accountable using teams, because some consequences and some benefits or some positives are tied in with the team. Okay. So you'll choose team, and definitely I don't have any classes yet, so I'm going to go to. Oh, sorry about that. I'll go to my home screen where I have my classes. So when you add your classes in, it'll look like this. You can have hit points and action points, experience points. So these are different points they'll use. Gold pieces, that's something is for a paid version. So I recommend just using the free version. So, but these three up here, that's actually points they use to create powers and everything like that. So I'll show you that now. Let's look at this. Oh yes, we're going to do that now. So this is actually how to set up the rules. So I could talk about, these are experience points. These are positives, like maybe something that they do, helping another student with the work, being positive in class, helping you. You can set up those different things. Okay. So I've already set those up here because I actually do bell ringers, and so they actually run a response to those. These are the things that maybe they can work on. So if they're targeted class, being rude, like you see up here, and so you can modify those. Like this button says change. Okay, but I'll leave it the way it is. Then you're going to choose your student powers. So these are different powers. They can turn in those points to be able to do. Maybe they want to use a tablet, like maybe they want to turn an assignment late. They have the ability to do that, like a little extra time to turn an assignment. Maybe they want to go to the bathroom twice in one class period, or maybe, yeah, just different things. Like maybe they want to move to another seat in this room. So there's different incentives that the students actually use those points to be able to do. Okay, and these are the different powers, because you have three main characters. You have healers, warriors, and mages. Mages kind of like magicians, I guess. And so the healers have different powers that the warriors and mages don't have. So that's why whenever you have your students create the characters or avatars, then they can choose one of those three, and they can set those powers there. And so those different powers for mages. And then the sentences, this is actually tied in with, like, if they lose all their health points, like in a typical game, they die in the game, but to be able to come back to life in the game, they have to do a sentence. Like maybe they have to come in after school, maybe they have to do detention, maybe they bring a treat for the whole class. You know, that's the way you can kind of tie it in positively. Different things like that. So you can set those up. So you're ready to go. Okay. I think you can actually edit those once you've gotten out of that. Let's see here. Where is that? Yes, you can actually edit the students there, and then edit behaviors and stuff like that. You can, I'm sorry, you can actually edit those once they've been created. So at any time you can actually go back and edit. So if you are halfway through the semester and you have certain things that have come up in your classroom that you want to create experience points or health points for, then you can do that here. So you can click on this edit button. Yes, change them or whatever you want. Okay. So those are experience points, health points, and action points. Action points, actually, you cannot edit those. Like I talked about the, I showed one of those. Action points are actually just points that they regenerate every class period, and that gives them, like, you know, they can't use all the powers and get all the different unlock all these powers in one class period. It takes, you know, action points are set to where they can do things one at a time, or, you know, a few at a time, so they can't do everything at once. So therefore they don't have like 5 things they're, you know, be able to do in one class period. So that's how I set it up. Let's go back to our thing here. This is actually teacher resources, like I talked about, getting teacher resources. Because Classcraft, I think, is very great, and that they've created a lot of video tutorials to show teachers how to get to creating a classroom, how to introduce things to students, and so you can see all those resources there. Typical day, customizing class, you know, introducing you to your students, and then when you do that, this is a teacher resource there. You can actually go to, these are teacher resources when you're introducing to your class. Rule summaries to show them, like, you know, these are, this is a management tool. It's not to take place of your instruction, but it's actually to help you with your classroom management. And also talking about this again, also the next here is the introduction to students. Is the guide. Actually, Classcraft is actually bundled all the videos. They've created a big list of videos and a group of videos, but they've kind of, you know, want to actually give you a guide. So they've actually tailored this guide and put all the effective videos they want, what they think are important, into introducing to his class. So we can go to this guide here. So maybe just this goes over introducing just straight off. So maybe take half of class period to introduce your students, go over the rules, learn how to play, how it's going to work. Then definitely this is a video that I showed to my students. Okay, and it talks about just exactly what I talk about. You are the game master. You're creating your class. I mean, your game. Sorry, and the students are actually characters within that game. So it works on classroom management. Then talks about like things you want to do, print out the rules, maybe talks about, it's a hero pact. It's actually like, it's kind of written document the students will sign, showing that they understand all the rules, all the behaviors that are expected of them, those kind of things. Okay, you can ask for feedback for your students, like what kind of things would be good for maybe experience points or something positive you can do in class. Okay, so those are definitely helpful things. Okay, then we're actually going to go to the next thing. This is a teacher testimonial of one of the teachers near me that teaches, and I've told him about this, and he's actually started to incorporate that into class. So let's watch that for a minute here.
I heard about Classcraft through Mr. K told me about this application that it's kind of like Warcraft, and it's supposed to help with behavior in the classroom. So I have this one class that students tend to be kind of rowdy. They like to play on online games, and since I teach in a computer lab, it's really tempting for them to go on and try to open up different games. So I figured, let me give this a try, and you know, worst comes to worst, they don't like it, and we just don't have to use it. but it turned out to be a really good application. The first day we started it, they were really excited about creating their avatars. So we did that. We took a couple of minutes in class. We created avatars, and I assigned them to a team of 4 students. And then I explained the rules and how the game works. I spent a little bit of time learning some of the rules and how Classcraft works before I launched it, so that helped out. After that, what I do, as you can see here in the background, I like to display it during class, and students can see how many points they're getting. If they do something good, like ask a question or help a teammate, they get more points. And if they do something that breaks the rules, like being rude or being off task or going online and doing something that they're not supposed to be doing, then I can monitor that and I can take points away. If you can see here, this is some of my classes. You can see some of the points. And here, for example, I took health points away from this particular student. He has only 20 health points because of his behavior in class. This one time, he was just being rude to another student. And I told him, listen, we're not going to talk like that to each other. This is a learning environment, and therefore you lost, health points. So the whole class was aware of this, and he set the tone for everybody to be more respectful and focus on the game. Not on the game, but focus on class so that he could help them end the game. The benefit for them is if they follow the rules and if they earn enough XP points or well-behaved points, they can turn it in for benefits, such as asking the teacher for help during a quiz, going to the restroom more than once during class, or whatever issue that it is that you have in your classroom. If you have issue with students getting off their seats, maybe you can allow them to move seats if they do well, or anything that will help your classroom be better managed. So just think of those ideas that you want in your classroom, and this could be a tool to help you get there. That's certainly what I'm trying to accomplish, and so far it's working. They asked me if we're going to use Classcraft today. I usually put my objectives and then I put Classcraft after that so that they can see how they're doing. So if I'm rambling a little bit, it's my first time doing a self video, but I wanted to go for Mr. K since he asked for it. And I hope you find it beneficial and helpful, and give Classcraft a try. Bye.
So that's just a great teacher testimonial that someone has been using in classroom. So not just me, but another teacher. Okay. Now I actually want to show you how I tend to create things, set things up on the website, and then after doing that, I can actually use my iPad to kind of manage that. So I'm going to show you that real quickly. So give me a second while I pull up Air Server. Okay. Set that up. Now you can see here that I have an iOS app. This is actually in self-service. Like this is my self-service. And Classcraft is actually just type in, class. And Classcraft is one of the apps that you can use for classroom management. Okay. So I just want to show you that very quickly. Now we'll go to I've already downloaded it. So you click on Classcraft, and then actually links to your account automatically. Like you sign in with Google just like we did before, and you'll see this kind of preview here. You'll click on the little lines up here, then it gives you options to view your class, like all of your classes. So like again, I've created some tests, so you can click on whichever class you're in, and You touch on that. When you scroll up, if you just swipe up like this, you'll see a list of each student. And then if I actually click on this or any of these buttons, I'm actually applying it to everyone in the classroom. So if I have a incentive or something like that that I want to do for the whole entire class, I can click on maybe the add health points, or like Mr. Guzman said, good behavior points. Then I can do that there. If I want to take away or add points individually, I click on the little plus or minus button next to each student. And I click on that, and then I can see I've actually removed or add to that exact student. Okay. So I'll click close here. Now, and it goes, this is another way to do that, to each individual student. So click and add there, okay? That's how I just want to show you that very quickly, that's a great way to manage, like as you're walking around the room, you don't have to be sitting at your desktop and actually, be managing those points there. You can actually pull up your iPad, be doing it on the fly, then like Mr. Guzman said, to actually presenting on your screen so they can see what's happening. So it kind of links that way. So that's kind of great. So we'll close that. Okay. I just want to show you that very quickly. Now let's go to the next thing. So this is actually the next topic that we're talking about is thinking globally. And we're using Skype in the classroom to do that, thinking globally. So what is Skype in the classroom? Skype in the classroom is an online community that enables thousands of teachers to inspire the next generation of global citizens through transformative learning over Skype. So this can be done in, this is kind of an introduction. Okay. This kind of goes over this community website where they've approved certain speakers and classes and stuff like that, to be able to Skype in. Okay, it's very collaborative. So let's go back. I just want to show you that. And actually, I'm sorry, this is kind of like a guide. It goes over Skype and the lessons, and I'll talk about that in a second. So let's go back here. So this is actually a Skype, mystery Skype that I did with another teacher here in Garland High School. So we did this mystery Skype, and they're actually her classes over an ESL class, and they're trying to learn how to speak to English as your first language speakers. And they had to find out where we are located, because we actually told them they're somewhere in the United States. You have to find out where. And so they posed questions, and if they answered yes, then they get to keep answering questions or keep asking questions, and no, then it was our class's turn to do the same thing. So this is a short video that, of what we did.
We're on mute. We're on mute.
We are on mute? No, this is mute.
No, here. Are you in Dallas? No.
No. But close.
Very close.
Texas? Are you in Texas?
Yes.
So we won't watch the whole video, but it's actually really great to talk about global citizenship, different students, how to address other classes, professionally, and classroom management kind of things. So all that kind of stuff tied in. So let's go to the next thing. So there's 5 main areas of Skype in the classroom. So there's virtual field trips, lessons that other teachers have created that create the curriculum of how to incorporate your lesson and incorporate Skype in the classroom to benefit from that lesson. So it kind of works together. Skype collaborations, and I'll go over these individually. And mystery Skype, kind of like what we did there, and then guest speakers. And then actually, when I talked about they were approved, these are more of the guest speakers. They have guest speakers that are kind of leaders in the field, and they actually join the Microsoft community, which we'll talk about in a second. And they're more Microsoft community kind of approves them, basically. So the next thing, so getting started. So there's two main steps in getting started with Skype in the classroom. So you talk about, the first thing is Skype for Business. You want to set for Skype for the Business. We'll go over that. This is how to set in. These are kind of just screenshots. So I'll show you exactly what it looks like. You're going to click on the Start button here. You're going to go to All Programs. And you scroll down here to Microsoft Office. Then you'll click on Skype for Business 2015. So that's what it shows here. Skype for Business. This is what it's going to do. It's going to come up, and you actually just put in, just like login into email, you'll put in your information there and then type in your password. So that's, it popped up there. It won't actually do that. Initially, you'll have to sign in and put in your password, and then it kind of does this for you once you have that set up. Then click OK. Maybe I didn't put the right password in. Oh yes, I didn't. So I didn't finish putting in the right password. So then it gives you the screen here. So this is what it looked like. When you're adding contacts, you just click on Add a Contact. So it gives you options like add a contact in my organization, which GISD is your organization, or if you want to add in maybe people that are in Skype, stuff like that. So if you click on adding a person for your organization, so this is just like typing an email. So you just type in a few letters, and it'll find in any person that has those letters in the name. Okay. So if you're adding a person, not an organization, it won't actually populate like that, but you're going to find in like, so it finds people based on their name, based on the Microsoft education community, which we'll talk about in a second. And then you're gonna like say like you want to add this person. So then you can add this contact or add it to contacts there. Okay. And then it actually has the favorites and other contacts and stuff. Okay. So I just minimize that. So that's how it's going to look. Now, when you first, like it didn't, I showed you exactly what it looked like. Now, I'll show you this one thing. When you have your contacts added, so you just hover your mouse over that person's avatar right there, and it gives you options to IM that person, to make an audio call, a video call, and to actually see their contact list. And this is straight in from Skyward, so all this information is correct. They did not, like Mr. Guzman did not enter his information. It's straight from Skyward. And there's more options there if you're going to, you know, look into more options. Okay, so when you actually start the Skype, this is kind of what it's going to look like here. And then you have two links here. This is actually just like talked about in the YouTube description in there. It talks about Microsoft's kind of introduction to Skype for the Business. And I found a YouTube video that's a really great resource. It's really extensive. I actually previewed it to actually get started with Skype for the Business. So the next thing we'll do is sign up for Microsoft Education Community. And so this is what the homepage will look like. And you click on that. Okay. Now what you're going to do is you're going to just sign in. And then you click on just Microsoft. This is kind of like how I think the district has bought into using Office 360, which is a Microsoft product. So you just log in with that, Microsoft. And then you put in your, again, same address for your email. And then your password. The same exact password you put in earlier. Then it's going to give you to your main page. Now, I've actually already set up some things on my profile, but that's the first thing you want to do. So you click on your My Profile. It's going to take you to my profile page, but it will show a silhouette. It won't show an avatar just yet. So you can click Edit. None of this stuff will be there. So click Edit. Now, these are where you change everything. So put in your name, information about you. Like you can type in like what is your role as a teacher or administrator, what kind of subject you teach, your age group if you teach high school or elementary, what have you. This is where you can add in your avatar there. And different information about you. This is the really important part. So you can actually, you know, if you want to use Mystery Skype, would be like, you know, you just joining Skype, and it could be like any person from around the world, or, you know, in this country or something like that. So then you have guest speakers. You can be approved to be a guest speaker. That's what I was talking about before. And actually, the Microsoft community actually previews the people that want to be guest speakers, and they determine whether you would be a good fit. And so it proves them there. And this is the really important part, is setting up your availability, and actually walk us through how to do that. So you have to set up your availability because it's determined. It's like maybe you're using guest speakers. They have a certain availability, has to match up with your availability. So then you can actually have that Skype in the classroom session. And then if you want to share your location, you can do that as well. Oh wait, I'll click cancel. And so you can see, like, this is your availability, and your achievements, connections. The achievements kind of like very much like gamification, like I talked about with Classcraft. So we can earn badges for completion of things. That's very much like gamification. Then if you've connected with people, you can go over that. If you have connections with people. So once you've set up your account, you can actually go to Skype for the Classroom. And like I said before, there's these 5 main areas. Okay. This introduction to Skype, like again, it's in the YouTube description links, has this big long kind of like a guide to introducing Skype in the Classroom. As they talk about, if you're using Skype lessons, how to actually set up a lesson for teachers that at the end of the lesson maybe, or in the middle part, you actually set up using Skype in the Classroom to really, you know, enhance your lesson. So maybe like there's a teacher that wants to create a kind of a drama, creating a screenplay. Then they actually Skype in with another classroom, and they collaboratively, with those different classes, create a play together. So maybe the first one class creates like the characters, and another class has to create like the storylines, and they have to Skype in a few different times to be able to create that. That's kind of what it's doing. Mystery Skype, you can actually connect with that. You can actually view, I'm not viewing these videos because of copyright reasons, but you can view these individually. This talks about the Minecraft kind of like big buzz for creating coding and stuff like that, you know, getting kids fired up about that. Virtual field trips is really great because it breaks down the walls of your classroom, getting to visit places and do different things they never would have been able to do sitting in a classroom. This is great because of Skype collaborations. So like it says here, Kansas student solves a water crisis in school in Kenya. So this, I think it's a 5th grade class. They Skyped in with a classroom in Kenya. They had problems with like getting clean water. So this 5th grade class had to actually do cross-discipline kind of work in their science class and different things, and brought it in to actually solve those problems. So problem-solving skills, it's really great. And then you have guest speakers, like why they use Skype in the Classroom. Okay, and so you have to click on. You can do that that tutorial there, or you can click on each one of these individually, and this has a video that kind of like is an inspirational video, like again this virtual field trips there, or you can click on whichever one you want to. Skype in the Classroom, like I told you before, and this is this great introductory video. And then you can find a guest speaker. This actually, sorry, I didn't actually go there. Clicked on the wrong link there. Find guest speakers. And then you have a video there. This is talking about they Skyped in this expert in his field, like this creator of Minecraft, which the kids will really, you know, zone into. And they actually, I think it actually interviews the person that creates Toms, like it talks about, like, you know, entrepreneurs and, you know, leaders in business. So when you're actually searching for a guest speaker, you would actually type in age group, subject, Skypeability, what you see here. If you have middle school, high school, elementary, what subject area you cover. If you have certain languages, you only speak certain languages, you need to know that. And so then you actually can search through different people, okay? So maybe you have, want to Skype in an author to talk about a book that you're doing in a class, so you can Skype in authors. So it shows a short little snippet of what they do, their expertise, basically, and then you can actually click on that person and find their availability. So this is really important because I've learned you need to set this up really far in advance, like maybe 2 months at least. So they have time to actually see your email, reply to it, get everything set up. Maybe you actually set up a practice Skype, you know, so all that kind of time to be able to set up all that stuff. So you need time to be able to do that. So you can do requesting it, sends them an email, then they reply, and you know, those kind of things. Okay. So actually, we just want to talk about one more thing. This is a teacher had a little technical difficulties creating her video, but I asked a teacher that actually is a French teacher here at Garland High School that has Skyped in her relatives that live in France, and that way her French-speaking class got a good practice speaking with native French speakers and getting to see, you know, like a normal normal household in France, those kind of things. So getting to see that maybe the culture. So those are really effective in their class. Okay. So after you do those things, you set up for Skype for Business and set up your Microsoft Education Community account. Then you'll be good to go for the Skype in the classroom. So now we're at the Q&A section. So if you have any questions, you can type them into the chat window. So I don't think there are any questions right now. So, and this is where I put up a professional development link. So thank you for watching.